It is Mungu Halali right there coming through for you from Blinky Bill, and it's at 29 to 10. It's on Kiss FM, Kenya's #1 hit music station. Chito and Kwambox with you, and a good morning. We're hanging out with the one, the only Blinky Bill.
And he's got a brand new album. It's called We Cutting Keys.
We Cut Keys 2.
Yeah, so let's talk about this album.
Yeah.
Well, you said you were inspired. You'd already started working on the project.
Yeah.
And it's a mix of international sounds with a Kenyan outlook.
Yeah.
By the way, let me tell you, when he says international appeal,
I know.
Bro.
I know.
At the launch on Thursday, the listening party. You might as well, you could have called this the UN.
United Nations, bro.
I'm telling you. I mean, you've got fans everywhere and real diehard fans. So what should we expect from this album for someone who's not listened to it?
You should expect like a lot of different sounds, because like I'm a producer first. So I always think of how to bring so many different worlds together, but also still make it cohesive.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's like Maji in there. Like I got him on this Lua track called Boss.
Yeah.
There's a Fuso DG from Ghana, who's like one of the like OGs of like Afrobeats to the world. There's MDQ. There's new artists like Kasha, who I really like and I have a lot of hope and faith in, because she's so good. There's also like Oworarunga.
Okay, which is a completely different sound.
Yeah.
It's a very different
when
sound.
you listen to the MDQ tune, which has elements of like it's very hip hoppy. Then there's another one which has elements of dancehall. I can't remember the name of the song. Kiberit. I even wrote it down. Then you have listening to VOK. Those are three completely different sounds. It's very difficult to put you in a box, in a genre box.
But
because I'm like, I always just I listen to all these things. Like, I'm a jazz head, so I was just like, I need to have a song that represents like jazz as I see it. And it's like the Voice of Kenya is a tribute to Kina Hugh Masekela, Fela Kuti, all those guys, but in a Kenyan sound. And I've always said like that's a sound like if I was going from Nairobi to like the States, what a Nairobi band would sound like if they were in New Orleans, or if a New Orleans band came to Kenya, that it would sound like. The dancehall one was like, I just started it, and when I was in studio, I was just like, yo, it's just a very different
It's
vibe.
mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
And then my PR lady in Jamaica, who's kind of like a Nyiko for me here, I asked her, yo, could you get me a Jamaican like singer chick? I was like, I don't know anyone, but I can jump on it. She's never recorded before.
What?
And when you listen to it,
Yeah.
it's kind of like has that Sister Nancy vibe.
yeah.
It's such a vibe, guys. You gotta listen to it. It's called Kiberiti.
In fact, you're talking about not being in a box. You're a DJ, you're an artist, you're a producer.
Yeah.
What's the main gig and what's the side gig here?
Actually, I have all of them are my...
Gun to your head.
Yoni,
Gun to your head.
that's
Hapa lazima tupatie 3, 2, 1.
that's very tough.
Yeah?
I'm an artist first.
Yeah.
No, I'm a producer first.
You see how he's already having a tough time to figure out who.
I'm a producer first. Then I'm an artist. Then I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
And I think that they all really feed to each other. Unajua? So like the DJing is what's making the album so diverse, because I'm like, there's times when I'll go somewhere and they're like, oh, the theme of this thing is like Afrobeats.
Yes.
So I know Afrobeats very well.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll just be like, I'm playing jazz, and I've always wanted to, like, my next project will probably be a jazz album.
Yeah.
I just like, so the DJing really informs a lot of the production and then the artistry. So when I'm on stage with my band, we have this thing where we are always like really trying to push the limit.
Yeah.
Speaking of the limit, one of the big conversations across Africa right now is Afrobeats and Afrobeats versus Afrobeat, right? And I mean, Kenya is in the conversation, including your sound, right? When we are out there, they call it Afrobeats, right? So if someone is, say, in Europe trying to put you in a, because at the end of the day we gotta fit in some boxes, right? What would you call your sound?
In fact,
Do you fit in Afrobeats?
Before you even answer that question, let's play Get That Paper. Then you can come back and then you can tell us
Exactly.
what your sound is.
Yeah.
Before we make Blinky Bill run out of here, like, you guys gun to my head.
Banam Bunduks.
That's still one of your goals?
Like, when I was making this initially, it just sounded like something Anderson .Paak would fit.
It does. No, it does.
Yeah.
I can hear him. I can literally hear him in it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you didn't meet Anderson .Paak because you met Pastor Mwiru, who's in the song. Did you hear the sample?
I heard the sample inside there.
Watu wapewa injili ya CBS.
Skiza, kama bado unapewa sijui mbilibili hapo, pewa injili mbili.
Injili mbili.
It is Get That Paper, Blinky Bill at 22:10 on Kiss FM, Kenya's #1 hit music station. Chito and Kwambox with you. And we are hanging out with the Blinky Bill himself.
By the way, speaking of this album, so at the album launch, or at the listening party rather, I know you're going to have an album launch at some point.
Yeah.
And by the way, hey, this guy, Blinky is a force. You have a listening party, guys pay. And you come through, it's not like invite yourself by paying.
Support the artist.
I love that. By the way, so I'm there, I'm chilling, I'm hanging out with Maji, who just kept saying, go to sleep. You'll be late for your breakfast show. Then I'm like, yo, man, congrats, man. How did the collab happen? He's like, yo, Blinky called me yesterday and told me I'm on the album.
Blinky, is that true?
Able to tell us how
You
much
work on a guy
budget
without
for
his
this
consent.
No, you know what? Like when I made that song, like I was listening to like a lot of Django music, like a lot of Bengal Hangla.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why have I never played with this sound? And also like there's no like the artists who are playing with the sound are doing it very differently.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I want to make these drums big and then also just go in a very different direction. So I called Maji. This was like 2.5 years ago. And he came through. He's such a gracious guy. He came through. I was like, usiogope. So he was very encouraging. And usiogope wimbo kubwa or something like that. I was like, he recorded this thing, and I learned so much from recording him because he's also done this for such a long time, and he's had such big hits. Then, when he was singing, I was so impressed with his voice. I knew him like as a rapper, but I didn't know that he was that like he sounds that traditional. So I was like, the perfect addition. Then I haven't talked to him since. Then when the day before the album comes out, I was just like, bro, uko kwa album. Kesho kuja kwa listening party. He's like, eh?
Yeah, and he pulled up.
And then he pulled up, and he's such a, I think he's such a dope person.
Yeah.
You're one of the people I would describe as an actual international artist. Dude, you're rarely in this country. Like, I'm even shocked that we're even sitting here because, in fact, tonight you're flying out.
Yeah, I have a show in New Orleans.
Yeah.
This week with one of the most celebrated African artists who happens to be Kenyan.
Yeah.
She's called Wangeshi Mutu. And she's such a big deal. But I don't know if a lot of Kenyans know her.
Yeah.
So I'm going to support her for her show, and it's going to be phenomenal.
That is amazing.
And you have a PR manager from Jamaica. you worked with Sampa the Great on some projects.
Before watu watamjue.
For real?
Yeah.
So you're that international artist. Do you ever feel like here at home we don't appreciate you as much as they do out there?
I think I've hiyo swali ni ngumu.
Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's play Maji. Let's play Boss.
Hold on, before we get into that, Afrobeats versus Afrobeat, because the world is currently right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Grammys is happening. Africans are performing at the Grammys. Guys, would you ever
phenomenal.
have thought, right, from where we've come from? But we're still stuck on this. You know, they're trying to label the whole continent as Afrobeat.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I think there's I really like that Nigerians and South Africans and the Congolese have really led this thing from the front. But also sometimes when we're talking about something like the Grammys, it's very easy to put blame on them, but I don't think we do enough locally to celebrate things from a local level, you know? So before mtu atoke hapo, like someone comes from Kenya, like me, I'm competing with Burna Boy or Nasty C or whoever. We have very different sounds.
Yeah.
And so we all can't be boxed in
one
genre like Afrobeats or best African sound, because there's so much, we are did you knew tuko wangapi Africa?
To go
2 billion or 1 point
billion.
something billion. We're so many. And so the thing is, I wish that we had more local celebrations and then African celebrations. So it's like from East Africa, we are celebrating the guys from East Africa first, because the Grammys are just gonna see us as one block, and they'll be like, yo, celebrate these guys as one block, but it's not doing us justice.
So when you get back, you'll answer that other question, eh?
Yes.
Right now, though, here is Boss coming through for you. He just spoke about Maji Maji, and in this one also, he's got Melchizedek, so you know it's going to be a good one. Here it is. It is Chum Tum right there coming through for you from Watenda Wheelie, and it is at 25 minutes past 9 a.m.
And if you haven't watched the video, watch it. There's some amazing talent in there.
Yeah. Chito and Kwambox with you, and this is Kiss FM, Kenya's #1 hit music station. What was that thing you're singing for us when you're trying to tell us about the artist who was coming?
Hey, Blinky Bill.
Finding still. Party still.
Wow.
Blinky Bill.
Blink, hey.
Clearly.
Blinky Bill.
There's a generational gap here.
A very serious one. Because I'm like, what's Blinky Bill?
Watu wako na TV. See generational.
By the
watu
way.
wako na TV.
Oh, yeah.
Me,
Actually,
to be very honest, I have never heard of that song or that cartoon.
How can I watch the cartoons?
by the way.
Do you know what culture shock used to be when you were a kid? You go visit. You Lilian, oh mommy, I want to sleep at Akina Nani's place. Then your mom is like, sawa. Oh, you want to go and sleep? Okay, fine, go. You go Friday. Kumbe akina nani hao wako na TV lakini hawashangi. You're sitting in that house just looking at a TV. You're like, if just let me know which cult you guys are in. One time.
Maybe he was reading.
Anyway, welcome Blinky.
Thank you, man.
First of all, mimi niko na beef na nyinyi.
Kwa nini?
Mulitusaika ati you guys are gonna get back together as just a band. Oh, you guys are giving out a project. Fam, it's been like since COVID, ever since when?
It was just a psych.
No. Like they'll actually let me finish my project because when we got back together proper, I'd already started working on this project.
Yes.
So it was just gonna be a conflict of so many of like things clashing.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do this.
Yeah. So they're waiting for you to finish.
Yes. If they were even at my party on a Thursday.
Yeah. That's absolutely fine. Me, I was like, hey, to the cheswa.
Yeah. But you see, the guy was cutting keys, and we just want to get right into it. I've listened to the album.
Yeah.
What is We Cutting Keys?
It's like a follow-up to my first EP, which was We Cut Keys While You Wait. And that came out in 2016. And during the pandemic, I thought it was going to be an EP. And then I was working on so much music that it ended up being an album. So it's a second edition to that because the spirit is the same. Like the spirit of both projects is like mixing Kenyan music with a very global mindset.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to be getting into a bit more of that. Before we get into this next tune of yours, though, we're reminding you about the OY party happening this Saturday. So make sure that you're registering for it, rather coming through for it and get your tickets on ticketyetu.com. It's